Tonight surrounding the murder of Mya Fuller.
Yeah, Wilson County Sheriff Office announced they charged Tiana Tipton, Tyshawn Bowles, and Lamira Pipkins for Fuller's July 2022 murder.
It started with words, an argument on a Friday night between two people who barely knew each other. The kind of back and forth that happens in every city every weekend. One of them went home and forgot about it by morning. The other went home and started planning. By Saturday afternoon, her brother was online searching for the woman she'd argued with. By Saturday night, a message was sent. By Sunday morning, a 22-year-old was dead in a field 40 miles from the club she thought she was going to. I need to show you how an argument that should have been forgotten by the weekend turned into a murder planned over a screen, executed in a parking lot, and finished on a piece of empty land where nobody would find her for a week. Tell me in the comments right now, have you ever had an argument with someone and forgotten about it the next day? Just moved on with your life because it wasn't worth the energy? Drop your answer. Because Mya Fuller did exactly that. She had words with someone on a Friday, went home, went to work the next day like nothing happened. And the person she argued with spent that same next day turning a forgotten argument into a death sentence. By the end of this video, you're going to know what was planned, who planned it, how a message from a stranger pulled a 22-year-old out of her normal Saturday night, and why the person who set the entire trap got the lightest sentence of the three. And your answer about forgetting arguments is going to feel very different. I haven't shown you who Mya was yet. I haven't shown you the argument. I haven't shown you why the woman she argued with sent her own brother to search for Mya online. I haven't shown you the message. I haven't shown you the club. I haven't shown you the parking lot. I haven't shown you the trunk. I haven't shown you the drive across the county line. I haven't shown you what they did to her on a piece of empty land in Wilson County, Tennessee. I haven't shown you what the medical examiner found. And I haven't shown you the 3 sentences that were handed down. And why the one that matters most is the one that will make you furious. Keep watching. I will show you everything. If you are new here, welcome. This is a community where we talk about cases like this around the clock. We follow the evidence. We do not stop. And we do not look away when a 22-year-old woman from Murfreesboro, Tennessee, is lured to a club through a social media message sent by a stranger whose sister wanted her found, attacked outside a nightclub, and killed in a place nobody would find her for a week over words exchanged the night before that she had already forgotten. Whether you're watching this from Tennessee, from Nashville, from the United States, from around Europe, or any part of the world, let us know in the comments. Comment your location. If you found this video through criminal psychology communities, through true crime communities, through crime networks, through forensic science communities, through missing persons communities, through justice reform communities, through women's safety communities, through Black community channels, through court TV communities, through Dateline communities, or if it was just suggested to you, subscribe and share this video right now. If you have been following this community, you already know what to do. Share this video, suggest it to others, create more awareness because you are in the right place. We cover cases where the evidence goes deeper than the headline. I went through every court filing, every police report, every press conference, every piece of surveillance evidence, every sentencing hearing in the death of Mya Fuller in Wilson County, Tennessee in July 2022. What nobody has put together until now is how the Friday night argument, the Saturday social media hunt, the club invitation, the parking lot, what happened after the parking lot, where they took her, what they did when they got there, and the 3 sentences that were handed down, one that felt like justice and 2 that felt like insults, all connect to show you that Mya Fuller's death was not a fight that went wrong. It was a hunt that went exactly the way it was planned, and the person who started the hunt got punished the least. Now, before I show you the argument, I need to show you who Mya was, because the woman they hunted was not a name on a police report. She was a daughter, a worker, a person her own mother called a genius without any exaggeration. Before I show you who she was, answer this. If your mother described you with one word, what word would she use? Think about that, because Mya's mother used the word genius and she meant it. And the woman she was describing was 22 years old with her entire life building in front of her. Drop your answer. As I promised, step by step. You need to know this young woman. Mya Fuller was 22 years old. She was from Murfreesboro, Tennessee, a college town about 30 minutes outside Nashville. She was sharp. She was kind. She was close with her family. She worked hard. Nothing flashy. Just a young woman building her life 1 week at a time, the way most 22-year-olds do when they're trying to get somewhere. The weekend of July 29th, 2022 was as normal as a weekend gets. Friday, she was with her family. Saturday, she worked a shift at Geodis Park, the Major League Soccer stadium in Nashville. Clocked in, did her job, clocked out. A regular day at the end of a regular week. When she said bye to her family that weekend, it was nothing serious, just a normal goodbye. The kind you say when you know you'll see each other in a day or two. Nobody in that house had any idea they were watching her walk out the door for one of the last times. Every person watching this. Think about the last time you said a casual goodbye to someone you love. See you later. Bye. Nothing dramatic, just the normal rhythm of a family that assumes there's always a tomorrow. Maya's family said that goodbye on a Friday, and by Sunday, there was no tomorrow left. Type "rest in peace Mya" in the comments, because a 22-year-old who was building her life 1 week at a time deserved to keep building. But I haven't shown you the argument yet, because what happened on Friday night, the words that started everything, is something I need you to hear carefully. Because the argument itself was nothing, and the fact that it was nothing is what makes everything that followed unforgivable. Type "I am still here" in the comments. Because the argument is where this case splits into two different stories, one that ends with forgetting and one that ends with planning. Now I've shown you who Mya was. Before I show you the argument, answer this. Think about the last argument you had with someone you barely knew. A stranger at a bar, someone in line, a person at a party. Did you think about it the next day? Did it follow you home? Or did you wake up the next morning and forget it ever happened? Drop your answer. Because how you answer that question is the difference between Mya and the woman who killed her, as I promised. This is the argument. And I need you to pay attention to how small it was, because the smallness is the point. On Friday night, Mya crossed paths with a woman named Tiana Tipton, 21 years old, from Nashville. The two of them got into it. A verbal exchange. Nobody has ever laid out exactly what was said, and honestly, it barely matters. What came out later in court is that it was the kind of back and forth that happens between young people in every city, every weekend. No weapons, nobody got hurt, just words. And then everybody went their own way. For Mya, that was the end of it. She went home. She got up the next morning and went to work. There is nothing, no text, no post, no message that suggests she thought about Tiana Tipton again after that night. For Tipton, it didn't end there, not close. She took that argument home with her, and by the next day, she'd already turned it into something else entirely. A plan. Every person watching this. The same argument. Two people. One forgot about it by morning and went to work. The other carried it home and spent the next day building a trap. That gap between forgetting and planning is the gap between a normal person and a person capable of what happened next. But I haven't shown you the plan yet, because what Tipton did on Saturday, the person she called, the instructions she gave, the search that followed, is where this case stops being about an argument and starts being about a hunt. Now I've shown you the argument. Before I show you the plan, answer this. If you had an argument with someone on a Friday night, and the next day you sent a family member to find that person online and lure them somewhere, would anyone call that spontaneous, or would they call it premeditated? Drop your answer as I promised. This is the plan, and every step was deliberate. At some point on Saturday, Tiana Tipton made a decision that separates her from almost anybody who has ever lost an argument. She decided Mya was going to pay for it, but she had a problem. Mya knew her face now. If Tipton reached out directly, Mya would be on guard. She would recognize the name. She would know something was wrong. So Tipton went to someone who could approach Mya looking completely harmless. Her own younger brother, Tyshawn Bowles, 20 years old. According to prosecutors, Bowles knew about the argument between his sister and Mya. He knew his sister wanted to get at her, and knowing all of that, he pulled up social media, searched until he found Mya's profile, and sent her a message, a young woman he had never met. who had never done a single thing to him, and he typed words designed to pull her out of her house and into a place where his sister would be waiting. Every person watching this, a brother, at his sister's direction, hunted a stranger online, found her profile, studied her face, and sent a message that would end her life, not in the heat of the moment, not in a rage. On a Saturday afternoon, sitting somewhere with a phone in his hand, calmly typing a message to a woman he was helping to set up. That is not anger, that is calculation. But I haven't shown you the message yet, because what Bowles sent Mya, and why she said yes, is the detail that should make every person watching this look at their own phone differently tonight. Now I've shown you the plan. Before I show you the message, answer this. If you got a message right now from someone you didn't know is inviting you to a club tonight, would you go? A public place, loud music, crowds, security at the door, it sounds safe. Would you say yes? Drop your answer, because Mya said yes, and the person sending the message was counting on exactly that reaction. As I promised, this is what pulled Mya out of her house, but I haven't shown you where the message told her to go, because the location was chosen carefully, and I need you to understand why it felt safe before I show you what was waiting there. Before I show you the location, answer this. If someone invited you to a crowded club with security at the door and cameras everywhere, would you feel safe going? Would the word club make you feel like nothing bad could happen because it's public? Drop your answer, as I promised. This is where the message told Mya to go. Island Vibes, a club on Antioch Pike in South Nashville. Think about that from Mya's side. A club is public, crowded, cameras at the door, security inside. Nothing about a nightclub screams danger. And the invite came from a young man with no obvious connection to the argument the night before. No red flags, no warning signs. At 22, invites like that come through 100,000 phones every weekend. Promoters, mutual friends, people you half know telling you something is happening tonight. Saying yes wasn't careless. It was normal. And that's the part of this case that should keep you up tonight. The plan never needed Mya to slip up. It never needed her to make a mistake. It needed her to do exactly what any young person would do on a free Saturday night. Say yes to going out. But I haven't shown you what was waiting for her at the club, because while Mya was getting ready, picking out clothes, doing her hair, looking forward to a good end to her week, 3 people were already in position, and I need to show you what happened in that parking lot. Now I've shown you the message. Before I show you the club, answer this. If you found out that while you were getting dressed for a night out, excited, happy, playing music, the people you were about to meet were already waiting for you with a plan to hurt you, how would that make you feel? Knowing that the same minutes you spent looking forward, they spent preparing. Drop your answer, because that contrast between Mya's excitement and their preparation is the cruelest detail in this case. As I promised, this is what happened at Island Vibes, and this is where the night turned. Mya arrived at Island Vibes a little after 11 that night. She drove her gray Toyota Camry and parked in the lot. She walked toward the entrance looking for the party she'd been invited to. There was no party, at least there was no party waiting for her. At some point, she ended up back outside in the parking lot, and that's where Tiana Tipton was waiting, and she wasn't alone. Lamira Pipkins, 20 years old, close with both Tipton and Bowles, was there too. 2 against 1, in a dark parking lot, away from the music and the lights and the people inside. 2 women against a woman who thought she was walking into a Saturday night and walked into an ambush instead. But I haven't shown you what Mya did, because this is the detail that tells you exactly who she was, not as a victim, but as a fighter. Before I show you what happened in the lot, answer this. If 2 people jumped you in a parking lot, outnumbered, caught off guard, would you fight or would you freeze? Drop your answer, as I promised. This is what Mya Fuller did. She fought, both of them. A 22-year-old woman jumped by 2 attackers in a dark lot, and she fought back. She didn't freeze. She didn't collapse. She fought for her life in a place she thought she was welcome. But 2 against 1, planned out hours in advance, only ends one way when the 2 are prepared, and the one doesn't know it's coming. They beat her, not a scuffle, a full assault. By the time it was done, the medical examiner later documented 2 broken ribs and a broken leg. That tells you how brutal those minutes were. That tells you how much force was used against a woman who was fighting back with everything she had. Every person watching this who has ever been in a situation where you were outnumbered, where the odds were against you, where you fought anyway because your body wouldn't let you stop, that was Mya, standing in a parking lot, outnumbered, fighting, until her body couldn't fight anymore. But I haven't shown you what happened after the beating, because what they did next took this from an assault to something that will stay with you long after this video ends. Now, I've shown you the fight. Before I show you what happened next, answer this. If you beat someone in a parking lot and it was over, and the person was on the ground, what would a normal person do? Walk away, call someone, panic. What would they not do? Drop your answer. Because what Tipton and the others did next is the answer nobody expects. As I promised, this is the moment the case changed from assault to murder. A trunk popped open, and Mya, beaten, bleeding, ribs broken, leg broken, barely able to stand, was forced inside. The lid came down. The dark closed in around her. Every person watching this, I need you to sit with this for a moment because it's the center of everything. That morning, she'd been home with her family. That afternoon, she'd clocked out of a shift at a soccer stadium. That night, she said yes to one invite from one stranger. And now she was folded into the trunk of a car while the people who put her there climbed into the seats above her. Imagine the dark. Imagine the heat. Imagine the sound of the engine starting above you. Imagine not knowing where you're going. Imagine being in pain, ribs broken, leg broken, and feeling every turn, every bump, every mile of road beneath you, and knowing that wherever this car stops is probably where everything ends. Can you feel that? Hold that feeling, because Mya felt it for every second of that drive. But I haven't shown you where they drove, because the destination tells you this wasn't panic. This was a plan with a final step. Now I've shown you the trunk. Before I show you the drive, answer this. If someone puts a person in a trunk and drives, are they panicking, or are they following through on something they already decided? Drop your answer, as I promised. This is where they took Mya. They drove out of Nashville, across the county line, into Wilson County. Miles of highway. Every mile taking Mya further from the club, further from her car, further from anyone who might have seen what happened. But I haven't shown you the destination yet, because where they drove tells you this wasn't panic. It was a plan, with a final location already selected. Before I show you where they stopped, answer this. If you were going to take someone 40 miles from where you hurt them to a place with no neighbors, no cameras, no witnesses, would you drive there randomly, or would you already know exactly where you were going? Drop your answer. As I promised, this is where they took Mya. They ended up on a quiet stretch off Trammell Lane near Lebanon, a piece of land under development, empty. No neighbors close enough to hear a thing. They had taken her from a building full of people to a patch of ground with none. And here's what that drive means. It means they chose the destination before the night started. You don't drive 40 miles in the dark with a person in your trunk to a random piece of empty land. You drive there because you already know it's there, because you already scouted it, because the plan included not just the beating, not just the trunk, but the final location where nobody would hear and nobody would find her for days. The trunk opened again, and in the dark, on that empty piece of land in Wilson County, Tiana Tipton shot Mya Fuller 7 times. 7, not one shot in panic. 7 separate decisions. 7 times she chose to pull that trigger. Standing over a woman who had been beaten, broken, and locked in a trunk for miles of highway, and shooting her 7 times. When it was done, they left her there, in the dirt, and drove back home, leaving a daughter, a friend, a genius, their mother's word, abandoned in a county she had no reason to ever set foot in. The people responsible had been careful. They had moved Mya's body across county lines, away from the club, away from witnesses, into a spot picked to hide what happened. Investigators were working a case spread across Nashville, Wilson County, and Rutherford County. Multiple agencies, multiple jurisdictions, surveillance footage, phone records, social media records, bank records. And here's what the digital evidence showed. Because in 2022, every action leaves a trail. And the trail Bowles left was a roadmap to premeditation. Before I show you the digital evidence, Answer this. When you send a message on social media, do you think about the fact that it's stored on a server, that the time you sent it is recorded, that the platform knows exactly when you searched for someone's name, when you viewed their profile, and when you typed the first word? Drop your answer, because Bowles didn't think about it, and every keystroke he made on that Saturday afternoon became evidence. As I promised, this is the digital trail. Investigators pulled Bowles' social media records. They could see when he searched for Mya's name, when he found her profile, how long he spent looking at it, when he sent the first message, what the message said, and the timestamps proved something devastating. The search happened after the argument between Tipton and Mya, not before. He wasn't connecting with Mya randomly. He was hunting for her at his sister's direction. The timestamps proved sequence. Argument first, search second, message third. That sequence is premeditation written in data. They also pulled cell tower records. The pings traced the route from Island Vibes on Antioch Pike across the county line to the stretch off Trammell Lane in Wilson County. The phones that were at the club were the same phones that pinged near the field where Mya was found. 3 phones, 3 suspects, 1 route. Connected by cell towers that don't lie and can't be deleted. The digital trail that Bowles left when he searched for Mya's profile and sent that message. The Uber and rideshare records. The cell tower pings that trace the route from Island Vibes to Trammell Lane. In January 2023, search warrants were obtained, and Wilson County Sheriff Robert Bryan made it clear this case was personal. An innocent 22-year-old left in the middle of nowhere was not something his office was going to let go cold. By the summer of 2023, a grand jury indicted all 3. Tiana Tipton, Tyshawn Bowles, and Lamira Pipkins charged with first-degree murder and kidnapping. For the first time in a year, Mya's family had names, faces, and the beginning of something that might look like justice. But I haven't shown you how the 3 sentences landed, because justice in this case didn't come all at once. It came in 3 pieces, and each piece reopened the wound. Before I show you the sentencing, answer this. If 3 people were responsible for the same death, the one who pulled the trigger, the one who helped beat her, and the one who set the trap, should they get the same sentence? Or should each sentence match what each person did? Drop your answer, as I promised. This is how the sentences fell, and why the last one is the reason this video exists. March 2025. Tiana Tipton, days from trial, a jury about to be picked. She stood in a Wilson County courtroom and pleaded guilty to everything. First-degree murder, kidnapping, abuse of her remains. District Attorney Jason Lawson said the plea caught even his office off guard. They'd been fully ready for trial. The judge sentenced her to life in prison. The woman who put Mya in that trunk and pulled the trigger 7 times would not walk free again. October 2025. Lamira Pipkins held out the longest. Her case was the last one standing. The morning a jury was set to be picked, she pleaded guilty too. Facilitation of first-degree murder, 20 years. The woman who helped beat Mya in that parking lot would serve 2 decades. And then the sentence that broke Mya's family. Every fact, one breath. Mya Fuller, 22 years old, Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Her mother called her a genius, close with her family. Worked at Geodis Park, soccer stadium, Nashville. Friday, July 29th, with her family. Normal goodbye. That night, an argument with Tiana Tipton. Words, nothing more. Mya forgot about it. Tipton didn't. Saturday, Mya worked her shift. Tipton planned, sent her brother. Tyshawn Bowles, 20 years old, found Mya online, searched her profile, sent her a message. Island Vibes, Antioch Pike, Saturday night. Mya said yes, got dressed, drove to the club, arrived around 11. There was no party, parking lot. Tipton waiting. Lamira Pipkins, 20 years old, 2 against 1. Mya fought back, beaten, 2 broken ribs, broken leg, trunk popped open, forced inside, lid closed. Dark, drove out of Nashville, across the county line, Wilson County, Trammell Lane, empty land, under development, no neighbors. Trunk opened, 7 shots, left in the dirt. Gray Toyota Camry still in the parking lot at Island Vibes. Reported missing, family searching, days of silence. August 6th, body found, Wilson County, field behind the development. Medical examiner confirmed. Multiple gunshot wounds, broken ribs, broken leg. Indicted, Tiana Tipton, life in prison. First-degree murder. Kidnapping, Lamira Pipkins, 20 years. Facilitation of first-degree murder. But I haven't shown you the sentence that should make every person watching this furious. Because the third sentence, the one given to the person who started the entire night, is the one that Maya's mother screamed about in court. Before I show you the third sentence, answer this. If a person searched for a stranger online, sent the message that lured her out of her house, watched the beating, heard his sister say, "Pop the trunk," and then told the court he looked away from how it ended, how many years would you give him? Drop your answer, as I promised. This is the sentence that breaks this case. Tyshawn Bowles, 12 years. The man who started it all, who found Maya online, who sent the message. 12 years with a door open to walk back out. Type justice for Maya in the comments and tell me, is 12 years enough for the person who set the trap? The man who searched for a stranger online, who typed the message that pulled a 22-year-old out of her house, who watched the beating, who heard his sister say, "Pop the trunk." Is 12 years enough? Is 20 years enough for the woman who helped beat Maya in that parking lot? Is life enough for the woman who shot a beaten, broken woman 7 times on a piece of empty land? Maya's mother stood in that courtroom and said words that should be heard by every person watching this video. She said, "I can't believe that happened to my child." She said, "She just went to a party. Just went to a party. That's it. And you didn't even give her the grace to just be there." She said, "You stood there, walked away, threw your hands up, and you get 12 years, 30% served? My God, 30% served." That means Bowles could walk free after serving less than 4 years. The man who hunted Maya online, who typed the message, who watched the beating, who heard his sister say, "Pop the trunk," could be back on the street before Maya's family has finished grieving. Every parent watching this, every person who has ever lost someone to violence, 12 years with 30% served. That's the number the system put on the life of a 22-year-old genius, a daughter, a worker, a woman who fought back with everything she had in a parking lot where 2 people were trying to destroy her. And the person who pulled her into that parking lot with a message, the person without whom none of this happens, gets to walk free before he hits 32 years old. But I haven't shown you what 12 years with 30% served actually looks like in real life. Because the number sounds like punishment, the math sounds like freedom. Before I show you the math, answer this. If a man set a trap that ended a 22-year-old's life, and the system said he owes 12 years, but the law says he only has to serve 30% of that, how many years does he actually spend behind bars? Do the math in your head. Drop your answer, as I promised. This is what 12 years with 30% served means. 30% of 12 years is 3 years and 7 months. 3 years and 7 months. That's the actual time Tyshawn Bowles could spend in prison for hunting Mya Fuller online, sending the message that lured her out of her house, watching her get beaten in a parking lot, hearing his sister say, "Pop the trunk," and then telling the court he looked away. 3 years and 7 months. Maya was 22 when she died. She had been alive for 22 years, building a life, working shifts, loving her family, being called a genius by her mother. 22 years of becoming who she was. And the man who ended all of it by typing one message on a Saturday afternoon could pay for it with 3 years and 7 months. Every person watching this, by the time Bowles walks free, Maya's mother will still be visiting her daughter's grave. Maya's family will still be carrying the weight of that August phone call. The field off Trammell Lane will still be the place where their daughter was found. Nothing about their sentence ends. Everything about his does. And here's what Bowles will walk back into. He'll be in his early 30s, young enough to start over, young enough to build a career, young enough to have children, young enough to live the entire life that Mya Fuller was never allowed to have. The system gave him 12 years on paper and 3.5 in practice, and called it justice. Ask yourself whether 3 years and 7 months is what Maya's life was worth. Ask yourself whether the person who struck the first match, the person without whom none of this happens, deserves to walk free while he's still young enough to forget what he did. Drop your answer, because the system already dropped its answer, and Mya's mother screamed at it from a courtroom podium. Drop your verdict for each one, because the sentencing in this case asks you to put a number on a human life, and Mya Fuller's life was worth more than any number that courtroom produced. Share this video, because the warning in Mya's story is simple and uncomfortable. The invite that ended her life didn't look dangerous. It looked like a normal Saturday night. It came through a screen from someone who seemed harmless, and it cost her everything. Every share puts Mya's face in front of one more person who might think twice before saying yes to a message from a name they don't recognize. One more person who might look at their phone tonight and remember, the most dangerous invitations are the ones that look the safest. If you want more cases like this one, subscribe and turn on the bell, because this community covers cases where the evidence goes deeper than the headline, and we do not stop until the people behind these cases are remembered. Mya Fuller was 22. She was a daughter. She was a genius. She was building a life, and she deserves so much more than the ending she got. We will be here for all of it. The death of Mya Fuller has been ruled a homicide. Tiana Tipton pleaded guilty to first-degree murder, kidnapping, and abuse of a body, and was sentenced to life in prison. Lamira Pipkins pleaded guilty to facilitation of first-degree murder and was sentenced to 20 years. Tyshawn Bowles pleaded guilty to facilitation of especially aggravated kidnapping and was sentenced to 12 years. All information is drawn from the Wilson County Sheriff's Office, WKRN News 2, WSMV, News Channel 5, the Wilson County District Attorney's Office, and confirmed on-the-record court proceedings and press conferences. If you or someone you know is going through a difficult time, help is available by calling or texting 988.